You lie awake at 3 in the morning, replaying a conversation from work. Your chest feels tight. You tell yourself to stop thinking about it, but that only makes it worse. The next day, you're exhausted, irritable, snapping at people you care about. Now, you feel guilty. So tonight, you lie awake again, worrying about why you can't just be normal. This cycle, worry, guilt, insomnia, more worry, feels like it is you, like it's your personality, your broken wiring. But here's the truth. This isn't you. It's a loop your brain is running without your permission. And once you see the machinery behind it, you can finally shut it down. What you're experiencing isn't weakness. It's called the anxiety loop, a self-reinforcing circuit of repetitive rumination fueled by an overactive amygdala and an exhausted prefrontal cortex. Your amygdala, the brain's ancient threat detector, keeps firing false alarms. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought and emotional regulation, tries to calm things down but fails under chronic stress. The fuel keeping this loop alive is cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. When cortisol stays elevated day after day, it doesn't just make you feel on edge. It physically reshapes your brain, shrinking the hippocampus and weakening the very circuits you need to break free. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to walk through the science of how this loop traps you, why it destroys your focus and decision-making, and 3 evidence-backed steps to escape it. We'll also discuss how targeted nutritional support like NeuroSharp, a blend of bacopa, ginkgo biloba, phosphatidylserine, lion's mane, and rhodiola, can assist mental clarity and cognitive stress management when used alongside behavioral change. But let's be clear, no supplement replaces the habits. The work is yours. Let's begin. The anxiety loop has 4 distinct stages, and it runs on autopilot. Step 1. A perceived trigger. It could be an email from your boss, an awkward social interaction, a looming deadline, or even just a random intrusive thought. Your amygdala, which evolved millions of years ago to detect predators on the savannah, interprets this as a threat and fires a distress signal. Adrenaline and cortisol flood your bloodstream. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense. This is the hijack. Step 2. Your prefrontal cortex attempts to regulate the response. In a healthy, well-rested brain, it steps in quickly and says, "This isn't actually dangerous. Stand down." But when you've been under chronic stress for weeks or months, the prefrontal cortex is already fatigued. It can't override the amygdala's alarm, so the anxiety persists, unchecked. Step 3. Rumination kicks in. You start replaying the trigger over and over, imagining worst-case scenarios, trying desperately to think your way out of the feeling. Ironically, this mental rehearsal activates anticipatory dopamine pathways. Your brain starts to expect a reward from solving the anxiety, so it keeps you locked in the mental loop, even though no solution ever comes. It's a cognitive hamster wheel. Step 4. Physical symptoms reinforce the cycle. Your shallow breathing, tight chest, clammy hands, and racing heart send feedback signals back to your brain that say, yes, something is definitely wrong here. The amygdala takes this as confirmation and fires again. The loop closes, and unless you intervene with intention, it will run indefinitely, day after day, year after year. This loop doesn't just make you anxious, it systematically dismantles your ability to function. When your prefrontal cortex is constantly trying to regulate a hyperactive amygdala, it has no bandwidth left for anything else. Your attention becomes fractured. You read the same paragraph 5 times and retain nothing. You sit in meetings but can't track the conversation. You make impulsive decisions because your brain is running on survival mode, not strategy. Chronic anxiety also keeps cortisol levels elevated around the clock, and prolonged cortisol exposure is neurotoxic. Studies using functional MRI scans show that people with chronic anxiety have measurably smaller hippocampi, the brain region responsible for memory consolidation and spatial learning. This is why anxiety doesn't just feel bad emotionally, it makes you cognitively slower. You experience brain fog, forgetfulness, difficulty learning new information, and a constant sense of mental fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. Your brain is spending so much energy managing the anxiety loop that there's nothing left for focus, creativity, problem solving, or clear thinking. You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're not broken. Your brain is just trying to survive a threat that doesn't actually exist. Breaking the loop starts with interrupting the amygdala hijack in real time. The most effective and scientifically validated tool is controlled breathing, specifically the 4-7-8 technique. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 7 counts, then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for 8 counts. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, and sends a direct biological signal to your brainstem that you are safe. It's not about calming down or feeling better immediately. It's about overriding the stress response at a physiological level. The second tool is emotional labeling. When you feel anxiety rising, say out loud or silently in your mind, "This is anxiety. I'm feeling anxious right now." Neuroscience research shows that simply naming an emotion reduces amygdala activation and increases activity in the prefrontal regions responsible for regulation. You're not suppressing the feeling or pretending it doesn't exist. You're creating psychological distance from it. These two techniques, controlled breathwork and emotional labeling, give you a foothold in the moment. They don't fix the underlying loop, but they stop it from spinning faster and give your prefrontal cortex a chance to come back online. The second step is strengthening your prefrontal cortex so it can actually regulate your amygdala consistently over time. This requires 2 practices: gradual exposure and cognitive reframing. Gradual exposure means intentionally facing low-level versions of what triggers your anxiety in safe, controlled settings. If social situations make you anxious, start with brief, low-stakes interactions, ordering coffee, saying hello to a neighbor, and slowly increase the difficulty over weeks. This teaches your brain through lived experience that the perceived threat isn't real, and with enough repetition, the amygdala's automatic response begins to weaken. Cognitive reframing is the practice of interrogating your anxious thoughts on paper. Write them down exactly as they appear. Then ask, is this thought based on observable evidence or just an assumption? What's the absolute worst that could happen, and how likely is that really? What's the more probable outcome? This isn't about forced positive thinking or lying to yourself. It's about training your prefrontal cortex to challenge the amygdala's distorted narrative with logic and evidence. Journaling is one of the most underrated tools in this process. Externalizing your thoughts onto paper breaks the internal rumination cycle and gives your brain tangible proof that you can observe anxiety without being consumed by it. Consistency beats intensity here. 5 focused minutes every single day is better than an hour once a week. The third step is rebuilding your brain's baseline resilience through foundational health practices. Sleep, physical exercise, and proper nutrition aren't optional add-ons. They are the structural foundation everything else is built on. Poor sleep keeps cortisol elevated, prevents memory consolidation, and leaves your prefrontal cortex running on empty. Aim for 7 to 8 hours per night in a dark, cool room with consistent sleep and wake times. Exercise, particularly aerobic exercise like walking, jogging, or cycling, increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that supports the growth of new neurons and strengthens prefrontal circuits. Even 20 minutes of brisk walking makes a measurable difference. Nutrition matters too. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish or algae, magnesium from leafy greens and nuts, and B vitamins from whole grains all support neurotransmitter production and help regulate the stress response. This is also where targeted supplementation can provide additional support. NeuroSharp is specifically formulated with 5 research-backed ingredients: Bacopa monnieri, which supports memory and cognitive processing under stress; ginkgo biloba, which enhances cerebral blood flow and oxygen delivery; phosphatidylserine, a phospholipid that helps manage cortisol levels and supports brain cell communication; lion's mane mushroom, which promotes nerve growth factor and cognitive repair; and rhodiola rosea, a powerful adaptogen that helps your body and brain handle prolonged stress more effectively. Together, these ingredients support mental clarity, focus, and cognitive resilience during periods of high mental demand. NeuroSharp isn't a magic cure or a replacement for the work. It's a tool that works alongside your behavioral changes to give your brain the nutritional support it needs while you're rebuilding. Think of it as scaffolding while you reconstruct the structure. But the foundation, sleep, movement, and consistent mental practice, is still yours to build and maintain. The anxiety loop feels endless because no one ever named it as a loop. You thought it was just who you are, your personality, your wiring, your fault. But now you know the truth. It's a circuit, a learned pattern. And circuits can be interrupted, rewired, and eventually shut down completely. It won't happen overnight. There will be setbacks. But every single time you use breath work to interrupt the hijack, every time you journal to challenge an anxious thought, every time you prioritize sleep or take a walk or fuel your brain properly, you're weakening that loop. You're taking back control, one small decision at a time. If you want a structured starting point, we've created a free resource for you, the Focus and Brain Reset ebook. It includes a complete 7-day plan to begin breaking the anxiety cycle, plus detailed guidance on how nutritional tools like NeuroSharp can support your cognitive health during the process. The download link is in the description below. Grab it, read it, start today. Your brain isn't broken, it's just stuck in a pattern, and now you finally know how to set it free. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.